You see, basically, our own is very simple. Why should children, why should small children, why should they spend 93 days in police custody when they should be in school? And the government can arrest 10, 12, 13-year-old and keep them in custody for 93 days. But the government has not been able to arrest Yabelo 6 months after. Is it not a parody of some sort that we have two separate countries? One country for the rich, one country for the poor. Our laws are very clear. It's 48 hours. The police are in breach of the fundamental rights of these children. So we are not going to delve into the substance of the issue, which is already before the court, so that we will not make remarks that are subject to this. But what we are saying, very simple. Yaya Bello, 6 months later, has not been arrested. But you arrest our children. You keep them in custody for 93 days. These children, they are already looking like they have kwashoko. They are malnourished. You understand? Then you cannot keep them in custody for this long. This is the reasons why our rating in the Human Rights Index is poor, is bad. You understand? The Tinubu government should discontinue the charge. We make a passionate appeal to the AGF, Baba Latif Fagbemi, that he should discontinue the charge. He should take over the matter and discontinue against these children, so that the children can return back to school. And the Attorney General of the Federation has the inherent powers to take over this matter under Section 174 of the Constitution, that Baba Latif Fagbemi should take over this matter and discontinue the charge against the children. I cried in open court because of this grave injustice that has been done to these kids.
Talk, you die. If you don't talk, you die. So we'll talk and die.
Give clarify what happened. Generally,
while we were in court this morning, and shortly before the plea of the defendants, mainly underage children, could be taken, some of them who were looking quite malnourished, who were looking quite very sick, started snapping in court before the Honorable Justice Iguatu. Justice Iguatu, upon seeing the fainting of these young persons of school age, had to had to stand down proceedings abruptly. We had to rush some of these young children to the clinic within the facility of the court for them to be resuscitated. Some of them are still receiving treatment as I speak to you in the clinic. These young persons has been arrested since the 2nd day of August, 2024. Over 3 months, they've been left without clothing, without housing, without proper care. They are looking very malnourished, as you can see the videos that are flying around social media. They were kept at the Kuje Correctional Center and at the IRT, the notorious IRT at SAS Abatua. IRT now, that is where they are kept. At SAS Abatua. Now, this is the facility that has held our young children who should be in school but are being kept by this government over allegations of attempting to overthrow the president. The question now comes to, how can a 12, 13, 14-year-old boy who is looking very frail and malnourished attempt to overthrow the president? That is a matter for another day. But we have filed an application contesting and challenging the powers of the courts to try these young persons. And this objection is founded on very solid foundation. The Constitution of Nigeria in Section 18 vests on the government the responsibility of educating young persons. The Universal Basic Education Act and the Children and Young Persons Act vest upon the government the duty to educate its younger ones. Section 2 of the UBEC Act mandates the government to provide education for its young persons. Free, compulsory education for all young persons. Unfortunately, young Nigerians have been arraigned in court today on a 10-count charge of an attempt to overthrow and overhaul the government of Nigeria. They have been granted bail. We will strive hard to meet the bail conditions if we can. The conditions are quite neck-breaking. It is like giving bail with the right hand and taking with the left hand. We will strive and do our best to perfect these conditions. But if we cannot meet those conditions, we will come back to the courts and seek for a variation. Because we have shown that these are young persons who are hungry. The essence of the protest of August 2nd is to end hunger in the land. And we saw them in court today, looking quite malnourished. The problem persists.
Well, what actually happens... It's okay, thank you.
No, this is the week. Go ahead.
What actually happens today is that the 76 defendants were brought for arraignment who were alleged to have participated in this violent uprising against the government in Kano State. What actually baffles me today is that a matter of a sovereign national interest, a situation where a youth of this particular country would organize themselves into a violent protest, calling on an outsider to come and take over power from the government of Nigeria, otherwise than by constitutional means. This situation will never be tolerated.
So you were the details of the ruling.
What actually happened? The details of the ruling is that the matter has been adjourned to January 24 for the substantive hearing of the matter so far, and the court has graciously granted a bail on a very, very stringent conditions, which they are to be remanded in Abuja correctional centers, while others are to be remanded in the Boston training, pending the hearing of the substantive charge. Well, but the point I want to make, I just want to make a point, please. These people have been in lawful custody of the police for a considerable length of time, and none of them exhibited any sickness. But unfortunately, they were instigated by lawyers. Yes, Garba.
These boys that we brought to the court today, all of them are adults. Most of them are married men. None of them is a minor. Some of them are university graduates. The small kids you are seeing here, they came with some of their parents to come and greet their loved ones. They are not even the real suspect standing trial in this case. These boys were arrested in Kaduna and Zaria. Imagine the level we find ourselves now. Do you know how much it costs us to be at this level of a democracy in this country? These young boys are trying to destabilize Nigeria using the Russian flags and other countries, calling on the military to remove our president. Is it fair to even remove the state governors that they don't want democracy again? If you don't like democracy, are we forcing you? You go back home and sit. Everybody is enjoying their fundamental rights. Nobody is abusing their rights. Everybody is enjoying free movement, and everything's are moving fine in the country. These boys only for no reason. They started protests, violent protests with the flags, foreign flags, Russian flags. Haba, is that what we want in this country? Don't mind the Defense Council. They will always say something to tarnish the name of Nigerian police. It's not true. In my own case, we filed charge against 43 defendants, and all of them were produced to the court today. All of them are adults. Forget about what they are telling you, that they are small children, this and that. Ask the Defense Council, do they truly know the suspect they're defending?
I want to understand something. The first set that were arraigned this morning, that were granted 7 million.
I am not in that first case. My case is the second case. My case is the suspect, the defendants there are 43. So don't ask me about any case that I'm not involved. My name, I am Rimam Somte Ezekiel. I'm the Chief Superintendent of Police.
We don't get time.